Hello everyone. Welcome. So today I thought I would share with you how they select the judging panel for the World Professional Ballroom Championships. So firstly, I need to explain one common misunderstanding. The Blackpool that you hear about, that everyone refers to as Blackpool, is a different competition than the World Championships, though both are held in the same city in the same ballroom, which is the Empress Ballroom in the Winter Gardens in Blackpool, England. However, Blackpool is usually held towards the end of May, and the World Championships for the Pro Ballroom are always hosted in October. Okay, now as I've shared in a previous video, Blackpool is a much more prestigious competition to win or to place in the finals. And I've explained that in other videos. I will link below to my own personal experiences competing in Blackpool, both as an amateur and as a professional championship level dancer. So if you want to delve into that, click on those links. But today I'm going to talk about how they select that judging panel, okay? So eons ago, there used to be a requirement. If you, in order to judge the Worlds, you had to be a Blackpool finalist. However, over time, there was an evolution in the professional ballroom dance world, and people's professional competition career got longer and longer and longer until you get to people like Marcus Hilton, who were world champions for 11 straight years, or Katusha Demidova, the current world record holder. And so that selection pool just became too small. It wasn't like they retired the year they competed and won. So this day and age, it is not a requirement. As a matter of fact, it isn't even a requirement that you've ever competed at Blackpool. As a matter of fact, it's not even a requirement that you ever even competed as a professional. So this leads to the question, how do they select those panels? Okay, so there is an executive board of the competition that selects the countries to be represented on the judging panel each year. Now, they do not select the judges. They just select the countries, and then they notify the professional governing organization of each country, and that organization selects the judges. So, for example, I'm taping from the United States, so our kind of professional governing body is the NDCA. If you were in Canada, it would be the NDCC. So each country has its own separate body that judges the professional dancers, or kind of manages or is responsible for the rules for the professional dancers in each respective country, okay? Now, these rules do require you to be a competent judge. It's just people that you wouldn't necessarily expect. For example, Heidi Burns. This is someone that's a former U.S. swing champion. Never competed as a ballroom or Latin professional. However, many elite level pros have taken coaching with her. So despite there being gossip that, oh, she's just there for political reasons, and there are arguably some interesting personal things going on there. She married a former World Latin Professional Championship, very well-known Donnie Burns, who is over 22 years her senior. Some people have a toot, and I just think they're jealous because she is an amazing instructor, that she's only there because of that intimate relationship. And also in the world of ballroom dance, these May-December romances are extraordinarily common between the male pros, who are the older one, and the female student, or sometimes professional, usually amateurs, significantly younger, like younger enough to be their daughters and younger, girlfriends who become wives, okay? So just an interesting aside. I'll get down that bunny hole later. I've seen that in dance studios as well with low-level instructors. Turns my stomach. There are even, I know of several intimate relationships that the amateur claims did not start until they turned 18. But like the day they turned 18, everyone suspected something up to that point. And then sure enough, they dumped their wife for this person. I've even seen it with a pregnant wife. Horrible. Anyway, that video is for another day. Interesting, incestuous ballroom dance stuff in the real world. Anyway, there are still really defined rules as to who can be selected for these panels, okay? And they're published online. This is no secret. It's consistent country to country, year to year. In my opinion, these are all undeniably competent judges, more than capable of judging world championships. For example, take Walter Laird. He never competed at Blackpool, and he wrote the book, The Technique of Latin Dancing. He wrote the book. Who can argue that he's not capable of judging that comp? And I myself have taken with many pros that actually never competed professionally. My favorite, even my coach's favorite coach was only competed as an amateur. Anyway, there is at least 30% rotation in the judging panel each year between the countries represented. So you're not going to see the exact same countries represented each year. You could have more than one person from one country, but you are going to see at least a 30% rotation each year to ensure fairness as much as they can, okay? Now, it used to be the rules. I don't think it's the rules anymore, but it is tradition that the top 3 countries from each world championship are represented on the judging panel the following year. This is still tradition, so that is what it is. I think that's fair because there are powerhouses in the ballroom dance world of ballroom dancing. For example, the United States, England, where we have loads of the top pros in the world coming out of there. So of course you want the best countries represented. There are tiny little countries, you know, in Eastern Europe that have hardly any pros, and they could send their top pro, who is an absolute nobody, who wouldn't make it out of the first round in Blackpool. So they do want to keep this well-rounded and make sure we have competent people who are judging these comps. So yes, unfortunately, politics do weigh into the equation, and that is probably a separate video, but as much as they can, they monitor this to maximize fairness, okay? So I hope that is interesting to you and helpful info, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So feel free to ask any questions. Thanks for joining me today. Doodles!